Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another autocross car build. My vehicle today is the Ferrari F355. I really do very much like this vehicle. Ferraris have been great autocross cars for me as well. In the past, at least on Forza 5, my autocross vehicle of choice was a 360 Challenge. Very, very quick car, that one was. And I'm expecting good things from this 355 as well. Hopefully we might see it challenge the top three, possibly. That's kind of what I'm hoping from this car. I do know these are fantastic vehicles. Now, the cars for autocross have to be built to A class. This 355 starts off halfway through B, so we do have a little bit of leeway to play around with parts. The first thing we're going to be doing, get some big old tyres on the vehicle, and they are huge. 345s on the rear. What do we get at the front? I'm assuming probably only two 5.5s. I kind of expecting 2.85s, but yeah, there are some lovely big tyre widths on this vehicle. Are we going to? Oopsie, don't show. Don't care about drag tyres. Not important. Yeah, we're going to go for race tyres. Of course, being a slightly higher starting PI than some vehicles, we might have to be careful with the parts that we install, but I should think we can probably get all the handling parts on the car without too much trouble. Of course, we will be going for the aero bits as well. Now, the big question is, can I fit this in? I can. Fantastic. That is what we want. The car is down to £2,700. My slight fear with the Ferrari is it may end up a little bit like the NSX. We may get a very, very good handling car, but just be a little bit down on power. There's a problem we had with the NSX. The NSX's balance was lovely, but it lacked just that bit of acceleration. And I fear that with this being a little bit a heavier vehicle and not really having... I mean, it's okay on power, but we haven't even touched the engine yet. Can we get an exhaust on and keep it up? Bugger. The exhaust doesn't really take off very much weight anyway in this vehicle. Maybe we can get one. Nope, we can't even do. We can't even do that. Right. Okay. Well, I'm guessing we're not going to be doing that stuff, shall we? While we're here, then I guess if we do put the roll cage in, that will add a fair bit of weight. We might then be able to get a power bit in and kind of jiggle it about. It's going to be quite close though, I think, with as far as PI goes. Yeah, I fear just looking at the power and the weight, we may not quite. Bloody typical. Okay, I do want to get that in there. We may have to forego something in here, perhaps. What was that? Okay, we'll forego the front. Sure, we'll forego that one there. We'll just put it back down to that ever so slightly. Let's just have a look. Can I sneak anything else on? I didn't even touch the gearbox. Nope, we can't sneak the gearbox on in the car or any of them. Okay, well, we're around 400 horsepower. We don't have a huge amount of torque. Weight is a little bit lighter than the Cyclone, but it is still on the relatively heavy side for an autocross car. My hope with this vehicle is it will be very, very good handling, and we can carry lots of speed through the gates. We have got race tyres and massive race tyres on it as well. So, I'm still thinking this could go quick. I'm not sure it's quite going to have the power to weight ratio required, as the likes of the Beetle or the Sylvia, but we shall see. So, here we are at the Hockenheim circuit, ready for my 3 attempts with the Ferrari. Our current leader and target time was set by the Volkswagen Beetle with a 2:05.6. Now that is a very, very quick time. While I hope the Ferrari is going to be good handling, I'm not quite sure it's going to be up to challenging that Beetle, but we shall see. I'm kind of perhaps expecting a little bit more around maybe the Toyota, maybe around the BAC Mono's time. Possibly, I don't know. I think we may be a tad underpowered in this car, but maybe the huge tyres and amount of grip will be able to make up for it. Right, please be good. I'd like it to be very fast around here, because I do love the 355. I think it's a fantastic car. So far, we have got excellent balance in the vehicle. We've got so much grip through there, turned it a little bit too soon. The balance is lovely in the 355. How much speed dare we take? Oh, that's easily flat out through there, I think, in this car, but it isn't massively quick, and I fear it may have very, very similar problems to the NSX. Oh, we've got a little bit of understeer, actually, through there. Oh, now things are getting a little... I'm now trying to be a little too brave on this run. Like, how much speed can we get through there? That was almost 80 miles an hour. Admittedly, we did have a wheel on the grass at some points in that. That was a lot of speed. 116 is not too shabby at all. Coming down here. Right. Oh, careful now. Don't let that understeer catch you out a little bit. Yeah, the balance is very much to my liking in this car. I did get the rear end unsettled at one point. I just managed to overload it, but on the whole, yeah, the balance is to my liking. There is a little bit of understeer that has caught me out. Oh, that one there. That was a very small brush. Again, I was looking in the rear view as I went through there. It didn't even move the cone, so the front splitter, I think, perhaps just catching on the cones. Brakes are not bad, but we've got to consider, you know, this is, what, 1,000 pounds heavier than most of the fastest vehicles, so it's a lot more weight to try and get slowed down in this car. So while yeah, it's not under braking. It's certainly better than the Cyclone and better than some cars we have had. It's still not going to be as amazing under brakes as the likes of perhaps the Beetle or the BAC Mono, for that matter. We had a little bit of a lockup coming into this final section. It should be pretty good through here. I turned a little too soon through that part there, and sure enough, it changes direction. Absolutely lovely. Okay, we had a few bumps. I think we had about 5 gates hit on that one. Not quite got the width of the front of the car sorted out, but I am liking the 355 so far. So the main thing with this car, cut out the silly little mistakes. Just got to be aware of the understeer. Got to just kind of account for that through some of these gates. The amount of speed I can take through some of these sections though is really quite impressive with this Ferrari. So yeah, I'm still thinking we're going to be on for a pretty good time if I can make the most. I've got to make the most of the sections that it's good at, because it doesn't have that same blistering acceleration as we have seen from some vehicles. Oh, did have to have a little lift. Did have to have a little lift through there. Might want to have the tiniest lift on the way in just to get the car settled. I think is probably the best way to go for the 355. Oh, we're going to have a little bit of a lockup as well. Oh, it's slightly running wide through that section. We could do with not doing that again. Oh, again, we're holding 70 odd miles an hour through that section, which is really very, very fast. What are we doing straight line speed wise? Yeah, I'm going to get on the brakes a tad earlier. Again, just trying to get it slightly neater through here. Again, having a few lockups with the car. I knew as soon as I turned in there, I was going to clip that barrel. I'm surprised to be having a few issues with locking the brakes in this vehicle. I think it's perhaps the grip almost tricks me into thinking I can get away with braking super late, and you just can't quite with the 355. So yeah, I was again a little bit out of position through a couple of these places as well. Perhaps a little bit better to get on the brakes nice and early, get it settled. I mean, we have no problems taking the car through there. It doesn't wiggle, it doesn't move about across the road. It is a lovely handling car. The brakes are just ever so slightly letting it down, and I had to have a correction through there, which has put me a little wide into a gate. But, okay, again, a couple of mistakes here and there with the Ferrari. I'm still... Oh, no, I'm going to turn in too soon again to that one there. I'm now trying to get ready for the understeer, and it's turning in a little bit quicker than expecting. Still impressed, though. Still handling very nicely. Again, that was 3 gates down, so 15-second time penalty. Oh, it's looking close. If I can get a clean run and a quick run... this is looking fast. On to the final attempt for the Ferrari. there is certainly a lot of potential to go very, very quickly with this car if I can keep it out of some of the gates, if I can not turn in too soon. I think perhaps that the thing with this car is at higher speeds there is a little bit of understeer, and then when you get to the slow speed gates, it's kind of tempting to you're almost preparing for that understeer, so you turn in a little bit sooner, and then you go straight into the gates because there is quite a lot of grip in this vehicle. I do like the balance of the car. It's kind of NSX style of driving. Plenty of grip, nice, almost nice and safe, nice and reliable, and easy to push this car relatively hard. But it does have the similar problems to the NSX in that it just lacks that. It lacks that acceleration, that straight line speed that some of the very small, light, powerful cars have had. I mean, let's face it, this thing is about 1,000 pounds heavier than the Beetle, but it has around the same horsepower, so it's not exactly surprising the Beetle accelerates so much quicker out of the gates and in between the gates and so on. You've got to try and make up the time in this car by simply carrying the speed through the corners, because it does have some huge racing tyres on it that give it lots and lots of grip through here. So yeah, it's a nice car. It definitely is a very, very good car to race this one. This gate here is a bit of an arsey one. Got to make sure you get it stopped in time to get it turned, and then again we're coming to this these narrow sections. Certainly there is plenty of grip for change of direction. We're flat out through there. Again, this change of direction here has caused a few problems for some cars. Absolutely nothing to worry about in the Ferrari. Similar story with the brakes on this car. They're good brakes, don't get me wrong. They are good brakes. They're better than a lot of vehicles that have gone, but there's still so much more mass of the car that we're trying to get slowed down that you just have to brake that little bit earlier. But I'm really hoping that we can make up for it with the corner speed through some of these gates as we go up towards this final section in the Ferrari. Things are looking pretty good. Is it going to be enough though as we come towards this last little section? Should be pretty good through this part, but will it have the acceleration for that run to the line? We are flat out very, very early. Is it going to be enough? If it's not, it's a 2:07.1. It's a quick time. It's a very quick time from the Ferrari, but it's not quite enough. Oh yeah, the joys of having all of your data lost is you get to level up and get lots of more. If you could give me $1 million, I'd be happy with that. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, my save data got corrupted and I got reset, so I've got to go through the whole game again. I'll take the money. It's worth more than all of the cars. Yeah, I got distracted now. Yeah, the Ferrari, I very much like it. It's exactly the same problems we had with the NSX though. The power to weight ratio is just not quite enough. The balance is lovely. It is very, very quick through the gates, and yes, it can change direction very, very well. The back end stays well behaved, which for me is always a big plus point. But when you're 1,000 pounds heavier with similar power to some of the vehicles, you're not going to have that acceleration, and the braking is good. This is probably one of the heavier vehicles I've driven, and 2,800 pounds is not exactly heavy, but in terms of this autocross build, for the heavier vehicles that I've driven, this is very, very good at getting stopped, but it's not as good as the Beetle or the Sylvia and so on. But that time is still pretty damn impressive. A 2:07.1 will put it into 5th place. It goes just a couple of tenths down on the Alfa Romeo 4C. It's a couple of tenths quicker than that Plymouth Prowler. The Prowler was a mighty impressive time, I've got to say. That Prowler is really very, very quick around here, but it is a fair bit down. It's a second and a bit down on the Beetle. So yeah, I like it. I definitely like this Ferrari. It's just a little bit underpowered, perhaps, for this course. I still would recommend it though. Still a lovely, lovely car to drive. Anyway, though, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.